Hi everyone and welcome back to the Hubcast. And today I'm excited to be joined by the international transformation coach and co-owner of a boutique fitness studio, Rax Fitness, and a very long-time standing partner of my PT Hub, Jack Wilson. So Jack, firstly, thank you very much for joining me today. It is much appreciated.
No worries. Thank you for having me, guys.
I think before we crack on, and I've got a load of questions that I want to ask you, and probably questions that people want to know about you and your business. Just tell us a bit about yourself and your background and your business, and it's just sort of how you've got to where you are today.
Yeah, so 26 years old. I started off really like quite a lot of other people in terms of working at a gym. I worked at a leisure centre, so council run leisure centre near where obviously I lived. I'd done a degree beforehand, which was obviously sports and exercise science anyway, which then I gained qualifications in your normal level twos and level threes,
Mm.
circuit training, etc. And yeah, thought I never really knew if I wanted to become a personal trainer. I never really knew if I wanted to become like go into that sector. But I thought whilst I was obviously studying for my degree and I had the qualifications, then I'd start. Now started obviously at a leisure centre, which was probably the best idea to get experience up,
Mm.
and it just went from strength to strength. And within no time, I had quite a lot of sort of PT clients of where I'd actually fill up my day of just PT rather than doing all the normal stuff that they try and get
Yeah.
you to do, like cleaning, all that
Cleaning.
stuff. Yeah, and it just got to a stage of where I was I was at around 50 to 60 hours of pure PT,
Wow.
which was great at the time. And obviously you're buzzing because you've got that success coming from obviously my social
Mm.
media as well that I try to obviously advertise. Um, and then decided to start on my own because with any gym they try and take percentages, large percentages
Yeah.
from obviously your income. So started my own. This is actually a garage, a double garage that we converted into a
Oh
studio,
wow.
where we changed it literally into sort of a studio where you can get roughly around 4 to 8 people in, as well as
Oh.
outside a big astroturf area. So started that, done that for about 2 to 3 years in terms of just personal training, again working ridiculous hours, and then
Mm.
as online training just started to become a thing of where a couple of people were doing it, but not many, I decided to try it out. And
Yeah.
since doing that, literally, I've got to a stage of where I don't have to PT anymore. I do it a little bit for enjoyment per day, but mostly all of my clientele now and all my transformations come purely from online coaching, and that's where I am really at the moment with couple of different avenues that I'm looking to explore as well.
It's amazing. I literally love hearing these stories because it seems to happen. It seems to be that like going into a leisure centre or going into a gym chain is sort of like how it starts and like where people, I suppose, like get the love or get the taste for PTing. But with you, were you quite a sporty person before, or is it just something that you just naturally sort of fell into?
Typical boy, played football, didn't work out, all that sort of stuff. But I used to play football. I still play football now, but that was obviously my main sport. It was one
Yeah.
of those ones where um, used to go to the gym when I was in college. Used to go to the gym with the boys, and that's how it built up. So like always been a part of sports,
Yeah.
athletics. Not so much now in terms of athletics, but yeah. So it's just one of those ones that I think when you have a sporty background, it's something
Yeah.
you know that when you look at this as sort of like a career, you would enjoy because it's something that is a hobby, like when you first started, and then
Mm.
you just start to build a business into it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I completely agree. Like, it does seem to be a case of like the people that go into PT were naturally quite sporty people before, and it does feel like a good fit. I mean, with you in particular, obviously the online space is obviously your space now, the majority of the time. But I mean, take the pandemic out of it and like what's gone on over the last couple of years. Like since you've started, how have you seen that it's like sort of transformed from like well the PT sector, I suppose, like
Yeah.
from like face to face to online, or do you still see people doing mostly PT and face to face compared to online? What's your views on it?
It's changed massively. I think there's still going to be still. I think we're still in the early stages of it. If I'm going to be
Yeah.
completely honest, it's kind of like when I used to work at a gym. I had so many people say to me that commercial gyms are going to be a thing of the past, and it's going to go more into functional things such as
Mm.
getting rigs into gyms, etc. And you wouldn't use the old bulky machines, and how that
Yeah.
transitioned. And it's similar to obviously online coaching. I think
Yeah.
it started roughly for me around 4 years ago, of where I sort of like stuck my foot in slightly, saw what it was about, needed to learn systems, didn't really know too many systems, but thought I'd try it. The conventional sort of 8-week plans I would start to do
Yeah.
through like PDFs to start off with, because I didn't know about systems, I didn't know about software, etc. So
Yeah.
you start a PDF, it takes you ages to make. It's then a one-size-fits-all PDF. So then
Yeah.
you get somebody come in and they're like, okay, well, I've got dodgy knees, so what are you going to do now? And it's like, well, I haven't planned for that. So
I
then,
haven't planned for that.
yeah, that's the thing. And then it gets to a point where you just build up your knowledge through online,
Mm.
of where there's now software like I use my PT Hub, and
Yeah.
that obviously everything's electronic. So then it's so much easier to chop and change exercises and workouts and nutrition
Mm.
plans. So that's obviously vastly improved in terms of the software sort of element. But in terms of actual clientele, it's now got to a point where people realize that they don't actually sometimes need a personal trainer. They don't
Yeah.
need somebody within the gym if they're feeling confident. You're always going to get them people that aren't confident in the gym, and that's
Yeah.
always going to be the same. However, there is now people that start to realize, okay, well, I just need a plan to follow that's going to get
Yeah.
me results, and I need somebody to stay on my heels and tell me to
Yeah.
sharpen up when I need to sharpen up. So
Mm.
I think that's where it's at the moment. I do think that it's actually going to get even bigger,
Mm.
because I still think there's so many people in early stages of online coaching.
Yeah.
And obviously, the more online trainers there are, the bigger the marketplace is going to be,
Yeah.
which means there's going to be new systems, and there's going to be more
Of
people
course.
around to do it.
Mm. No, no, no. Completely agree. I mean, from your perspective, I suppose what I want to know is like, why did you get into online training? Like, obviously, you one of the early ones. I would probably class you as like. So,
Yeah.
what was that sort of the switch where you were like? Was it because you were doing so many hours? You're like, God, I've got to reduce this somehow.
I've always been quite driven with money. I wouldn't be afraid to say that, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I was doing loads of hours. I wanted to make more money. I wanted to be more
Hmm.
successful. Sometimes I think that can also be a weakness as well, when you want to just keep becoming more
Yeah.
successful, and you don't know, you can't pull yourself in.
Mm.
So I started off thinking I'm going to do it as well, make some more money, and then from there, obviously, more people know about me, and then I increase my brand like that. And it got to the point of where I kind of, again, because of social media, and I think that's one of the best ways. I wouldn't be where I am now if I didn't put advertisements on social
Yeah.
media, because that's where all of my clientele comes from. And
Yeah.
that's where I think, in terms of online coaching, by me doing that, I've naturally managed to reduce my hours down of PT, because I didn't have enough time
Yeah.
to then go online coaching and then have a better lifestyle,
Yeah.
where I can actually enjoy my life now and not have to worry. Everyone goes into PT thinking, I'm going to be self-employed, so I could do what I want when I want. And then you realise you've got to let people down if they want sessions at certain times. And then you're like, well,
Yeah.
I can't let them down. So then you don't
Yeah.
want to, and then you work ridiculous hours.
Oh,
Rather than online coaching being, you've just got to make sure that you get the plans right for the clients, stay in touch with them, keep checked in, and all the other time that you have is your time. You're free
mm.
to explore whatever you want to do, whether that's do another business venture, or whether that is
Yeah.
with a little bit more PT. Um,
Mm.
so that's the transition. It went from me thinking I just want to make a little bit more money, to then thinking, actually, online coaching is the best way to make a
Yeah.
good income, but
Yeah.
also have time for myself as well, or where I can
Hmm.
enjoy just things that I like to do.
Mm. I mean, with your story in particular, Jack, I think it's been like quite a nice natural progression as such as well.
Yeah.
Like you've explored the self-employed and or worked for a gym, sorry, then went self-employed, then opened up your own little boutique place, then you've gone online. I mean, it seems like it's all just sort of flowed quite naturally. I mean, from an out, you know the ins and outs, and I'm sure you've had some struggles along the way, but it seems like it's like sort of flown and gone nicely.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's I'm happy I've done it the way that I've done it. I am happy I've
Yeah,
done it because when I first started online coaching, I I had systems that I would look back now and cringe at because I knew they weren't right. Because it's the
yeah,
same as anything. When you start
mm,
something, when you start anything, when you start sort of a PT, when you do your first PT, you're never going to be the strongest at PT than if you
yeah,
did 3 years of PT.
mm,
And it's the same as online coaching. It's very easy for an online coach to say they're an online coach, but
yeah,
it's how your systems can work and flow so that you can get results by people not realizing that they're getting results, and
yeah,
they're not confused about the whole process. And that's where
mm,
I think it changed, because at the start it was I would make sort of an introduction video of how to work everything, and then 3 months down the line I looked at that introduction video and I thought that there's still so many questions that people are asking. So then you
mm,
better that introduction video, and then you better it and better it and better it, and then
yeah.
I'm at a stage now where I haven't had to change my introduction video for years. So it's the point of where you get so many questions asked that you
Yeah, you can
realize,
answer them all in one video.
yeah, you might as well just word vomit for 20 minutes.
Let's talk about like the not so distant past, I suppose, and with the pandemic and stuff. I don't think we can really avoid the question. I mean, me and you had a brief chat beforehand, and sadly, obviously, some people have been unsuccessful through the pandemic, and I know that you've done quite well, which is wasn't uncommon in the fitness industry because of the online situation. And
Yeah,
like the conversation we had before, is that other people that weren't quite in that online area had to take their time and learn it and then try to build up their online presence and
yeah,
stuff. But I mean, how was it for you over the pandemic, and have you taken anything from it and like sort of kept it within your business now, like going forward?
yeah. So obviously, always worrying. It was worrying, I think, for anyone, in any sector,
Mm,
any job sector. You're going into something that you've never
complete unknown.
never seen before.
Mm,
So it took, obviously, which I think it took everyone a little bit of time to adapt, to know what to do and how to do it. And for me, I'm quite thankful, but also obviously worked hard at knowing that
yeah,
my online was ready. And
yeah,
it was something that, again, luckily I started beforehand, but then
mm,
thankfully it worked, because then it meant that people that still wanted to continue their journey could, but they would do it online. And it actually needed it. It didn't need it. That's the wrong word. It was sort of forced upon people to do it this way, when actually it's opened people's eyes in a positive way. So if you look at a positive aspect of lockdown, it's
yeah,
actually opening so many people's eyes that they can do it this way. And I
mm,
don't think if we had a lockdown, online coaching wouldn't be as successful as what it is today because of that.
mm, yeah,
Um, so when we first started, I was doing my online coaching. I had about 70 to 80 just online coaching members where they pay weekly. That went up to 120 literally
wow,
within 2 to 3 weeks.
wow,
Managed to maintain that number now, so still at around I'm at 125 in terms of online coaching. Then you have obviously the one-off plans that
yeah,
people like to do. But what I decided to do is, in lockdown, you had so many people jumping on the home workouts, sort of live sessions, and I thought, you know what? Obviously, on my Instagram, I had quite a good following. People
yeah,
was always asking questions about PTs or boot camps or online coaching. I thought I'll do something where it gets me up, it gets me active, and I was doing 5 days a week, live classes just in here on IGTV. Would do different ones every day, and I was seeing up to,
yeah.
I think the most I got was like 170 or 180
Oh,
live people
wow,
on them, and they were
that's
completely
amazing.
free. Do them for I think it was like 2 months, and then when lockdown started to end, I was getting so many people being like, the first lockdown, this is compared to all the other lockdowns that we've had. The first one, they were like, well, I want to keep this going.
Yeah,
So I decided to incorporate that into online coaching. So what
yeah,
people have now is an option of, if basically option B, which is online coaching, which has obviously the custom nutrition plan, the custom exercise programs, the check-ins, etc. But also they get access to the IGTV page of where I run live classes per week, as well as some of the
Awesome.
other team as well. So I've got a team behind me, and that's what we do now. So it's just slightly a little bit different to how people normally do it.
Would you have thought of that if it wasn't for the pandemic?
I wouldn't have done a live workout, like home live workout as it was for it anyway. I wouldn't have even done it to my family, let alone go on Instagram. Like, I remember the first time doing it, and I was getting ready to set up, and I was like, "What am I doing?" And then I went on, and I always remember the first thing I said. It didn't even make sense. Like,
Yeah.
went live, like there was about 40 people that just tuned in. And I remember this sentence, and I was like, I don't even know whether I need to end this and do it again, because that does not make sense. And then
That's literally. It sounds like the beginning of every single one of my podcasts. I always start a read. I've even done it. I've even done it on this one. I can't talk half the time if I'm honest. Anyway.
yeah, it's just and again, people. I think with online coaching, I think with anything, like, people sell to people. So
Yeah, absolutely agree.
people enjoy training with me because, like, I take things seriously, but I don't take things seriously, and that people want to train with people that they can relate to. That's
Exactly. You're the brand, Jack, and people invest in you. Like, I mean, there's loads of personal trainers out there. You have your niche and what you're extremely good at, but people want to invest in you and your business. And I think that's something that a lot of trainers obviously need to remember when it goes forward, is like people invest in you as the person, not just the programs potentially that you're selling. But I mean, something that I want to know, especially with you, and you've almost given me a slight insight into it, is, but where do you get your clients from? Like, is it 100% social media, or do you do any paid ads, or is it like, how do you do it?
To be fair, I've got somebody that works on my Instagram at the moment, and we're just starting to look at paid ads now. I haven't really ever done any. I wouldn't really know where to start with them. So she's going to be working on that with me, and that isn't actually for this. It's just for another sort of thing that I'm looking at launching
Yeah.
in terms of the fitness industry. But the majority is just from Instagram. I don't really use Facebook as well. It's usually just from my Instagram, and I think the majority of the time, I think you're more credible if you've got a couple of transformation photos behind you. I've always said to people that ask me when I get like PTs message me and say, how do I get to where obviously I am in terms of clientele, etc. And it is just making sure that when you do a good job, you need everyone to know that you've done that good job. So on my Instagram, I'll do a feed where I'll have a photo and then a transformation photo every single time. So there'll be a transformation photo every other photo. It makes me more trustworthy. It makes me more credible, I think. Although sometimes it does look like it's a lot, because like you just see the transformation photo. But then I hope that people then turn to me and think, do you know what, I want to be trained by him, because transformations sell. I don't care what anyone says. That transformation is like money in terms of this in this industry. If you've got 50 transformation photos, then you've got 50 people that you've got a credible source on to say, I have done this with this with this girl, with this guy. We've worked together. She smashed it. I smashed it on my half. She smashed it on her half. And from there, this is what we've achieved. So I'd always say, in terms of where I've got the business from, it's from making sure that people know who they're buying into. So making sure you've got face on the brand, rather than just reposting things and people not actually knowing who you are, but also showing credible results like transformation photos or measurement analysis of where somebody's dropped or gained if they wanted to gain.
Yeah, I mean, like, and also I suppose there's that sort of element where people want like to be that person that you're posting about as well. They want to be proud that you've put them up on their Instagram, and that everyone can see how well they've done as well. And like, I always think that about progress photos, and I never really thought of it until someone mentioned it to me, and I thought, actually, do you know what? Like, if I was looking to invest in a personal trainer and I see them posting and stuff, like, deep down I'm thinking, oh, do you know what? I hope I get on there one day with like how well I've done.
Yeah.
So it does work. It does work. There's no denying that.
I've had that so many times. I've had some people get a little bit nervous, and they're like, oh my God, what time are you actually going to post? So I've got to tell them to the exact time. Like, 6:01 is when it's scheduled. But it is one of those ones where they see a couple of comments because everyone supports a progress photo. I don't care what anyone
Yeah,
says. Like, and if you don't, then there's no point being on those
nah,
sort of pages.
you're blocked.
But yeah, 100%. Um, that's the thing. When you've got that support, when you've got obviously your trainer that by putting a progress photo up knows that you've done well, then
Mm,
if you have that sense of achievement, then that can only push you that little bit more. And I had
yeah.
a conversation with someone the other day, and a guy that was wanting to post a transformation photo, and he said, "Look, have a little look at this. What do you think?" And I was like, "Any progress that someone has made is good progress. There
Mm,
is no reason why you shouldn't be posting something just because they haven't lost 1 stone. Like if they
yeah.
lost 3 pounds and you can see a slight difference in their progress photos, I honestly don't understand this sort of emphasis when people say, "Oh, okay, well the progress isn't as much as what it should be," when actually more often than not that's jealousy because they're not on, or it doesn't make any sense because
Yeah.
pro it's not like you get transformation photos and you get progress pictures, and the reason why you call it a progress picture is to measure any progress that there is, whether that is a
Mm,
2 centimeter drop round the arm, whether it's 2 centimeter drop round the tummy, or whether it's looking at a photo
yeah.
and just seeing that they've become a little bit more lean in their stomach. That should still be emphasized to be a goal and an
Mm,
achievement, because if it isn't, it's very easy for people to slip away and be like, okay, well, I don't really see much progress there, so I'm going to come off and I'm not going to pursue obviously health and fitness, and I'll go back to
yeah.
McDonald's 3 times a week. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And that's what.
Yeah, I love the view on it. I love the view on it. Like, because any progress is progress,
Yeah,
isn't it? Like, it doesn't even have to be weight loss. It doesn't have to be losing anything. If they feel more comfortable and they feel like they look better as well, and whatever that might be, whether it's a bit more toned or whatever, like that. You're right. That is progress.
yeah.
Um, ties in quite nicely to my next question, really. And it's like all about motivation. And like I want to know how you keep your clients motivated. Is it groups? Is it like, what is it? Is it just talking to them frequently?
So where obviously I'm full time in terms of my online coaching, I'll make
Mm,
sure that I'll always message every single client personally via a voice note, sorry, on a Monday, no matter what, in the morning, nice and early to
yeah,
get going. Now, what I will always do is reply to messages on a morning and an evening. So if someone
yeah,
message me throughout the day, I'll message them at like or call voice note them, sorry, at around
mm,
5 o'clock,
yeah,
before they have dinner. And if they keep the conversation going, then we'll just move that on to the Tuesday and then the Wednesday. So I'll always make
yeah,
sure that I'm replying to messages in a morning and an evening. If
yeah,
somebody doesn't message me, which PTs will get, and whoever says that they don't have people that air them is absolutely lying, because you'll always get people that do. If they don't message me back on a Monday, I'm that pushy trainer that will message them on Wednesday and be like, "Are you going to message me yet or not?" So, and that's just something just to keep them switched on, just to know that I'm always
mm,
here, because accountability is the main thing. Keeping anyone motivated is by accountability from their trainer.
yeah,
Um, there's a difference between the motivation and discipline. Like, I think motivation can come and go very easy.
yeah,
Discipline is one of those things that you need to sort of work on and improve, because you can have the lowest of motivation on a day, but you need to be disciplined to maybe get your steps in,
yeah,
or maybe have a better meal than what you originally planned. So
mm,
discipline is always one of those things, but it would be that I would say, in terms of motivation, keeping people accountable by messaging them.
yeah.
But also, I do little bits like on a Monday, I'll give my clients a workout of the day, which
Oh,
is
nice.
sort of like a challenge of where I'll put it in sort of a note format. I'll send it into the group and be like, right, this is what you've got to complete today. Let me know how we.
Yeah,
And it's just something
yeah,
a little bit different, rather than it being just a normal planned workout all the time.
yeah,
It's something a little bit different where they can either work in teams or not. It was like in Christmas, I'd done like a Lapland lockdown challenge of where they all had to get to Lapland and back, stole it from some other person that I saw. They were like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing
Which is fine.
yeah,
Which is fine.
we're traveling the globe." I was like, "Yep, so am I. Lovely." So, so I'd done that with the guys. All they had to do was literally all of them work together on their steps to get there and back. And
That's awesome.
them little things are the ones. Now, I used to in like online in my PT in my boot camps, we always used to do a monthly sort of get together
Yeah.
where we'd go to like Liquid Leisure, which is near us, which is like an aqua park or
Yeah.
a night out for a drink, etc. But with lockdown, I haven't been able to do that. But I will look to do that again. But it's always that little bit harder over online. So it would be something like Zoom calls or Zoom challenges, like Zoom quiz nights, for example. But yeah, they're the main areas I would say that I keep them motivated.
Yeah. And when it comes to communication, like I suppose you've had a bit of trial and error over the years, like what's worked best. And
Yeah.
so do you feel like the morning and evenings works best for you and your schedule first and foremost? And also voice notes rather than text. I suppose you can just get more information there. It's a bit more time saving for you as well.
Yeah, 100%. I used to not reply to people as much until I started to scale the business and think, what am I missing? What am I not doing that I should be doing? And where obviously I'm now earning good money from it, there is no reason why I shouldn't be checking in with them that much. And it's an hour. It's an hour in the morning, and it's an hour at max in the evening. Sometimes it can literally be 20, 30 minutes just to get through everyone, because once you do a voice note, it's very, very quick. But that keeps them knowing that you're there. Whereas previously I used to, and every trainer would have done it, is sort of like done a full group message rather than messaging people individually. People aren't paying for that. They're paying to be coached by you. So that was one of the mistakes I made early. But now, obviously, by voice noting and making sure that you're checking in with them, I know that there's so many trainers out there that say, "Oh, well, I only do one check-in a week, and I only speak to my clients twice or 3 times a week, and they have to message me in question format, etc." That's not real life. I don't care what anyone says. Like you don't message your mate from across the road and ask him 3 questions about where you're going tonight and what pub you're going to. Like,
can you complete this form before our night out?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Well, like, it doesn't make sense. So I think the more that you come away from trying to treat someone like a robot and act like you're too busy for them, is a moment that you start to succeed in personal training, online training, and you get it so many times. I hear so many stories of people saying, "Yeah, well, I'm living this lavish lifestyle because I only have to reply to people twice a week, and I charge this." That's fine, but what's your retention rate? Because I guarantee there's so many people that drop off, and your figures per month are just up and down, yo-yoing. And everyone's in it to try and enjoy their life, but also create a stable income.
Exactly.
Really is that especially over lockdown, you realise how important that is.
And I suppose it's like it's more like it goes more than a personal trainer these days, doesn't it? Like people might want to talk to you about other bits and pieces that might be affecting why they're not getting the results and stuff they want. And I suppose, obviously, you especially, you're more than happy to talk to people about that and see how they're getting on, and just in general.
100%. I've got people that if obviously are listening to this now, they know that they go through struggles, and it's literally like I'm sort of the person that's a little bit away from their sort of family bubble. They can voice their emotions to me. I've had people call me up and in floods of tears about something that's happened in terms of their family life. But that's what I like about this, because that shows to me that I'm doing my job properly.
They trust you.
Yeah, because you've built up a relationship. Now, they know they're not going to call me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, it's not like that. It's one of those ones where they know that there's respect there, but there's also you're not taking the mickey about it and acting like you're too big for them and they only have to do this, this, and this. They have to message you this time.
Yeah.
Because if you really look at the analytics about it, if you're going to go full time into online coaching, you might even go part time. Even if you go part time into it, you don't need a lot of time messaging people back, but people
Yeah.
always think that, oh, that's the long part, so I don't need
Mm.
to, like, I don't want to do that much.
Mm.
You do a quick voice note, and my voice notes sometimes are 15 seconds long.
Mm. That's all I need.
Get through 4 of them in a minute. So it's like quick maths. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's quick. That is quick.
So that's just one of the ones. That is the way that I would say that it just becomes. You just get better
Yeah.
retention rate from it. You get better client success and stability from.
Mm. I mean, something I really wanted to ask you as well, Jack, is that did you have a bit of a hard decision when it came to like maybe recruiting people for your business? Because as we've spoken about, it's all about people will invest in you, and obviously I know it's your brand and stuff. But were you like erring on the side of caution a little bit, thinking, oh no, like am I going to lose people because they don't feel like they're training with me anymore, or how did that go about?
Yeah, it's always one of those ones that you get nervous passing a responsibility to someone when
Yeah.
you know how you do it yourself. That's one of my biggest weaknesses.
Ah, and
Passing
mine.
something to someone else and me not wanting to do that thing, and then if I didn't pass it to them, I'll moan that I'm doing it. So I'm in a catch-22 anyway. So it's one of those times where it's always a tricky one. But I've got a team around me now where, don't get me wrong, I still coach every single one of my clients. None of the team coach any of my clients, but we have different people that work on different sectors of. So basically, there's 4 of us. We're all online trainers,
Yeah.
but it could be. I'll mention Ellie. Ellie will make a couple of leg workout plans, and Ellie might make nutrition plans, but she'll put them into the pot, and then from there we can use all of them.
Yeah.
Then it also benefits other trainers as well, and that's the way that we decided to do it, and it works. It works so well.
So it's all under one business, right? All under the same brand. They just manage their own clients, so they Ellie's clients will know to speak to her about situations. But
Exactly.
that's how it works for
It's
you.
kind of like Rax Fitness is the business, is like the gym, and then there's 4
Mhm.
trainers under Rax Fitness, and
Oh, cool.
that's how we've been doing it. And everyone has their different clients. I have clients that go over to Ellie or Reese or Louis, and
Yeah.
they have clients that come over to me.
Yeah.
Which is completely fine. It just depends on what they're looking to achieve. So yeah, that's the way that we decided to do it, and that was the way that we scaled. And it just means that we don't have to spend as much time creating meal plans, creating exercise plans, putting them in
Yeah.
actual routines, because we have people to do that as well.
Yeah. Makes complete sense. My final question for you, Jack,
Yep.
and I think this is going to put you on the spot a bit, but I'm prepared to do it. What is your plan? What is next with Rax Fitness over 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Like where is it that you want to go, and what is it that you want to do?
I want to keep going on the online coaching. I do want to keep moving forward with that. I want to keep trying to scale it. People look at me and think, oh, because I've got like 125 to 150 online clients, that I should be calling it a day and not going for any more. But if I can scale it properly, I know
For
that I
sure.
can do more, and make it personal. So that is something that I'm still going to look to do. We're also actively looking at a venue as well, of where we can get trainers in to become online coaches, but also to run classes, etc.
Oh wow.
So we're looking at getting sort of like a derelict property, and really trying to jazz it up into a nice, not gym. I don't want it as a gym. We want it as sort of like a studio.
Yeah.
But we're also looking at sort of, I'm not going to give too much away because I don't want too many PTs looking at this idea.
This is an exclusive. I'm telling you, this is going to be exclusive.
But we're looking into something where we can develop live classes on your phone that you can do as like inside a gym, acting as a PT. And yeah, I can't really give too much of that away, but that is something that we're
say no more. Say no more.
Is going to be something that in lockdown, home workouts worked really well. And the only thing that I don't understand is why that hasn't been put into a gym yet, where you can take your phone into a gym, do a session where I tell you, grab 2 dumbbells, grab a kettlebell, grab a slam ball, and I'll take you through a workout. And you could appeal to people that do it live, or you can save it to the grid, and from there they can go in and have their own little virtual PT of where literally you put headphones in and they're off they go.
Agreed.
So that's
Agreed.
what we're looking at. So
I won't ask you
who steals
anymore.
that idea? Anyone listening?
Uh,
No, really steals
yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sure they won't. Mate, Jack, it's been a pleasure. Well, firstly, thank you for being so honest and telling us about you and how it's all gone and everything that you do as a business and what it is that you're looking forward to doing. And hopefully, I hope like personal trainers into this or some of your clients, they can get a good insight if they didn't have a clue about how it is that you guys operate. But yeah, no, I really appreciate it. And thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Well, thank you very much for listening, guys, to the Hubcast, and we'll be back with another episode. Thank you.
See you later, guys.